Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, our website, or our social media. It's in the description below, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the anniversary Daytona. Of course, 50 years of the Cosmograph. This model arrived in 2013, and it was the first ever Platinum Daytona offered in series for public consumption. The watch is easy to wear in spite of its impressive mass, as it's 40 millimeters in diameter, 12.2 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, it's 47.5 millimeters, and then it's 52 millimeters from solid end link to solid end link, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Pop open the clasp. The watch wears like any Daytona, except much more massive. Incredibly hefty. On the wrist, eyes closed, you're going to sense the occasion of this watch, as its sheer amount of substance is simply breathtaking. It's a real pleasure and a privilege, even for someone who experiences the most exotic and esteemed watches. Getting back to a full Platinum Rolex reminds you what quality feels and looks like. The timepiece is easy to wear. I'd recommend it for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference. You can see the cuff shot, the over the top, and then down the barrel. Plenty of clearance. You could wear this on a smaller wrist quite easily. It's also an excellent dress watch option, as it has a formality as well as a thin profile lacking in some of the rotating bezel sports watches. Now, taking a quick look at the hardware, it's the Oyster bracelet, but all in platinum. It is super white, and when you have a chance to experience something like a 116509 in white gold, you realize the difference between white gold and platinum. Platinum is truly white. The flanks are of polish, the shoulders are of satin, and then the center is polished. You can also see removable links, as ever, on Rolex bracelets are fixed by screws. A combination of media blasting and polish inside the clasp. There's a lift lock system with a beacon to hook. You can see it notch right there. You actually can't just pull it open. You need to lift the lock. So it's a double locker with the clamshell on top and that little kerf underneath the crown so you can dig your nail in. Rolling around to the clasp itself, you can see that there's an easy link system built in. That's 5 millimeter of tool-free adjustment in or out, and it's the equivalent of adding or removing a full-sized sizable link. You can also see there are little divots with tracks inside, and you can use your strap tool to change the anchoring point of the bracelet inside the clasp using those little divots and your strap tool. So you have 3 ways to size: easy link, removable links, and the divots. Rolling back to the case, this is not the super case. You can see it has a compound curve. It slopes down, but then it also slopes in and out. And it doesn't have a constant radius either. There's a lovely flow to it. You can see how light dances across its surface. And then the lugs themselves are not squared off. They're nicely tapered. This is an elegant case that belies the super case direction of some of the more aggressive Rolex sports watches. And I think the new Submariner is tacit admission by Rolex that this more tapered look is more elegant and more desirable. Screw down crowns and chronograph pushers. Trip lock crown here, and you know you're looking at a trip lock in platinum because the center dot is small and the flanking dots are large. If you reverse that pattern, big in the center, small flanks, that would be a trip lock in gold. 100 meters water resistant, the watch features a brown ceramic bezel. And though we first saw ceramic bezels on the Daytona back in 2011, it's this combination of brown ceramic, brown registers, and ice blue dial that truly make this anniversary Daytona unlike anything else Rolex has offered. Now, the scratch-resistant ceramic acts as a heat shield for the watch, as points of contact generally involve sapphires and bezels, and both of those are hard enough to resist most scratches and scuffs. You also appreciate that the wells inside the tachymeter, they're actually filled with platinum for contrast, so it's a precious metal and ceramic bezel. Units per hour. When using the chronograph seconds hand and the scale, you can determine whether that is miles per hour or kilometers per hour. You don't have to be forced into one or the other. Rolex gives you units and you provide imperial or SI. The dial has that glacier blue or ice blue that Rolex reserves for its platinum watches, and it is truly explosive. It seems to radiate more light than it takes in. An incredible feature that gives it the impression of an underlying or intrinsic glow. It has sunburst rayon that explode out from the center, and it has a metallic tinge that contrasts nicely to the velvety chocolate gloss of the sub-registers. Now, you can also see, in addition to that chocolate gloss, there are polished chapter rings for those registers, as well as white gold Rolex crown, indices, and hands to resist oxidation and tarnish over time. Underneath the solid platinum case back, We have a Rolex manufactured caliber 4130, 72-hour power reserve, bidirectional winding, stop seconds, 8 beats per second, 44 joules, free sprung with a full balance bridge for shock resistance. It features a blue oxidized niobium zirconium anti-magnetic hairspring. It features 5-position adjustment, a COSC chronometer certification, and then Rolex takes that certified movement, cases it up, and adjusts it to keep time no worse than -2 + 2 seconds as a fully cased up watch, hence the term superlative chronometer. The watch, of course, also features a vertical clutch and a column wheel mechanism. So the vertical clutch means the engagement of the chronograph is smooth without jump or stagger, and it also allows you to run the chronograph full time with no wear and tear. The column wheel allows for crisp actuation. You feel it and you hear it. I should mention the winding system of this caliber 4130 was the first modern Rolex automatic to use a rotor bearing as opposed to a jeweled staff, which makes it even more shock resistant than the prior architectures. It does feature hacking or stop seconds, so you can set it precisely to a reference time, and the hairspring is a handmade Breguet overcoil that allows the watch to keep time equally via concentric breathing of the hairspring in any orientation with respect to gravity, and that's a big part of the watch's chronometer certification. If you love this watch, I don't blame you. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.